Kia ora, today I'm going to be scraplifting Kiwi Crafter Jess. You can find her on Instagram and I'll link her username there below. I really loved the simplicity of this. I think she'd done this for a challenge, a white with one challenge for a different, for a store or something, but I just really liked how the photo was there. I loved the green that she brought into her layout, and I was really excited when she said, yep, go for it, you can scraplift me, and I hope you get a chance to see this, Jess. I have chosen to use a photo of our two cats sitting on some seats that we have under the TV. Well, these chairs are normally under the TV. One of them now has been relocated to a different spot for my husband to sit on. He broke his hip last weekend, and he just wanted something comfortable that he can sit on that's got a bit of back support. It is lower than normal, than you would expect for someone with a who's had hip surgery. However, it's the most comfortable one for him. Now, Jess had I think she had torn her white cardstock and then she'd mounted it onto some green cardstock, so that was peeking through, and I really liked that edge. However, I was putting this together at a scrapbook day down in Invercargill, and I didn't bring extra cardboard. I'd put these together in kits based on the sketches, based on the pages that I'm scraplifting, and I didn't have extra cardstock. I didn't bring any more colours with me. I didn't even bring extra white, so I couldn't back my photos or mount them or whatever like I would normally do. However, I have made do, and I really like how it came together, where I inked up a sponge, sprayed it with a bit of water, inked it up based on the top of the ink pad lid, which is quite handy with close to my heart. The inks, you can squish them and you can get that extra colour in there to use them. I'm making a lot more use of my inks since I've started playing around with this technique. I then smeared that around the edges, that you can see that blue that's there. I think I used Capri, and then I just used a journaling pen to create a line which sort of gives that fake dimension look that I really loved in Jess's layout. So again, make sure you check out her gorgeous work on Instagram. Now, there was some sort of stitching through here, and I'm using this stamp that I've had for a while. I think it's Stitched Borders or Stitch something or other, from Close to My Heart, and it's just sort of some messy stitching, and I just tied this into the layout here as well. So I'm just using some plain normal archival black ink onto this page, onto the stitching, and I'm just alternating which side it starts from, so it doesn't look like I've just repeated the same stamp a few times down the page. So pop those aside. Now, I do make a bit of a mistake when I'm stamping this title on. The letters are a sort of calligraphy, or they are sort of a handwriting style, and I did get one letter mixed up, but I will talk about that in a minute and talk about how I fixed that up. Because when we make stuff, mistakes happen, and it's just what we do with those mistakes, just like in life, that make the difference in the end, or affect how things turn out or events come about. So I've got these arrow stamps here that I'm just using one down the bottom. I really liked the embellishment that Jess had used on her layout, and so I just sort of emulated this a little bit. So I've kept to the sort of the right hand side, vertical line that she sort of created, even though she was using horizontal pieces and stuff, and I've just tried to carry that through into my scraplift of her gorgeous page. So I've got some other black acrylic arrows here that I'm pulling out and play around with a few different options, but I do end up just sticking with the two that I've got there on the page, and I will stick them down shortly once I've cleared away my workspace. The kits that I put together, because I knew I'm sort of behind on the May I Scraplift You sort of thing. I was going to be doing these every other day during the month of May. However, life got in the way and other things have happened, and I haven't been able to do any for the last week, so I'm playing catch-up mode. But I was down at it's normally a scrapbook day. I was just down for the morning because I didn't feel I could leave my husband for that long. It's sort of a 2-hour plus drive down to where I was doing the scrapbooking, and it was quite good to be able to set up a light to have my tripod there, and just to get on with some of these pages. And I put together some kits. So last night I grabbed the sketches, or the night before the scrap day, I grabbed these layout printouts that I'd done of the pages I wanted to scrap lift. I then grabbed my photo that I'd already pre-selected for this, and then grabbed some different embellishments, different papers, even put in some stamps in these packs of things that I thought would work really well with the layout. And most of the time I did end up using some of all of the products, other times I didn't. So it was quite a good process, and in the space, I think we got there at about 9:20, 9:30ish this morning, and then we left at about 12:30, and in that time I managed to get 6 layouts done. So that's basically a half hour per page, which is pretty good. Normally I will sort of procrastinate and muck around for most of the morning, and then finally realise I need to do something, and I'll come away with 3 or 4 pages. But today was really productive, so I think that putting these sort of page kits together is something that I will look at doing again in the future, especially if I want to get a lot done in a short amount of time. So now I have made my mistake. I have written sunny, but I spelt the last letter at the end of the sunny. I grabbed the G. So luckily I had my white Uniball pen here, and I was able to edit out the top of that ink. So now it reads sunny, not sunnig, even though there isn't an I in there. It just didn't sit right with me, and so it was good to have an option to edit that out. After I did it, I was sort of like, okay, so what am I going to do here? How am I going to fix this? And I was really pleased that that white pen has covered up that top of the G, been able to edit that out to tie that in quite nicely. So Jess had a title up the top, and then she had another sort of little bit underneath that. I haven't copied that aspect of her layout. But the beauty of scrap lifting is that you can scrap lift parts, you can scrap lift all, but I really like the general design of what Kiwi Crafter Jess had put together. I love just the 2 tones, so she had just pretty much used the greens and the whites, and I used blues and whites mainly for my page here as well. And then I do bring in a few other colours with my stickers that I bring in at the end. So I've titled this layout Sunny Afternoons. It is 2 of our 3 cats, and they do seem to follow the sunshine around the house. So you will often find them sitting up on the table, which is really bad during the morning, but that's when the sun's streaming in that side of our living room. And then as the sun moves around in the sky towards the afternoon, they'll be sort of looking for little shafts of light on the carpet, and you can see one of them there is sitting in a shaft of light on the seat under the television set, and they seem to crave those warm spots. We've moved into winter, so there's not those sunny bits aren't there for as long, so you'll often find them curled up on fluffy blankets. Woolen seems to be the preference for one of them, around the house, sometimes in cupboards. You can even find them making nests in the linen cupboard at times as well. So these boys seem to have sorted out where the warmest spots in the house are, so they do like their nice sunny afternoons. So being at a scrapbook day, I'm sort of having to tidy my stuff away as I go. I've got limited space. I can't spread out and make such a mess like I normally would. So now it's time to add a little bit of journaling in here, and essentially I am just writing down, similar to what I said about the sunny afternoons and the cats following those sunny spots through the house. So again, Jess, I want to say thanks for letting me scrap lift you. You can see some money going in the top there. We also have stuff for sale at these days. A few of us bring some products and different bits and pieces, and people buy things. So if you're not in New Zealand, that's sort of what our $5 notes look like. So it's not a commercial venture, these scrapbook days. It is Claire, who is a very generous and a great organiser, and she puts these days together, and it's just great to go along and craft and scrapbook along with others who are interested in the same kinds of stuff. And because I do sell close to my heart stuff, I have a little bit there, and people enjoy sort of adding to their stash, or when they're creating something like, oh, I need that, or that'll be really handy with this page idea I've got. So I'm just going through sticker sheets here and pulling out different ones that I think tie in nicely with this layout, and there I am. I'm quite happy with what's been created. So once again, thank you, Jess, for letting me scraplift you, for your inspiration that you shared on Instagram, and I hope that if you're inspired by this, you'll go and check out Jess's other work that she's got shared on Instagram, and that if you want to see more, that you will subscribe. Thanks for watching.